يا عباد الله هبوا ونداء الحق لبوا فاعبدوه مخلصين.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you, dear viewers. It's exciting to welcome you to another episode of Stories of Devotion. Of course, it is a platform where we host missionaries of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community to share with us inspiring stories of their devotion in the service of Allah and humanity. On the show today, I have with me Maulvi Abdurrashid Sani Sahib, a missionary of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat of Nigeria, who has been serving in the country since the past 4 decades. Maulvi Sahib, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
It's a pleasing to host you on the show today.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Mashallah, so to start with, can you introduce yourself and your background?
Briefly, my name is Abdurrashid Sani, as you have rightly mentioned, and was born in Ijede, Ikorodu local government of Lagos State, Nigeria, and fortunately, born Ahmadi, because my grandfather, whose name is Sani, accepted Ahmadiyya in the time of the first missionary to Nigeria. So my father was born Ahmadi, and likewise myself, born Ahmadi.
Mashallah.
So, and I did my elementary education in Ijede before primary education before furthering. So alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. So at what point, coming from this background, at what point did you decide or to join, to dedicate your life and serve God as a missionary? What inspired that decision?
Actually, it was my parents that got inspired and dedicated me for this noble job. So the missionary then, who was in our Jamaat, respected Muallim Ali, approached my father, my parents, that since this your son is one of the brilliant children you have, I want you to dedicate him for the cause of Almighty Allah. So because it is the best student, best thing that you give in his way. And that was how I was dedicated. And when my parents told me, immediately I accepted and left all other wishes which I wanted to pursue in life and joined missionary.
Mashallah. What year was that?
That was in the year 1979. After finishing the elementary education, and I was about to go for further studying to become either member of SSS, then it was called CID, State Security Service, because I loved that job, or to go for language, to become a linguistic, because I loved that one also. So either of the two, I wanted to go for one. But even with all those wish, my parents said, no, you should go for missionary. And then the system of training missionary then was to come to the Amir at the headquarters, 45 Iduma Benue. Then was our respected Maulana Ajman Sahib.
That is the then national headquarters of
the Jamaat, 45 Iduma Benue. So we were there with him. We started who started the training for us to become a missionary.
Then afterwards, you went to Jamia.
Then when with the permission of Hudur, the third Khalifa, as Mr. Nasir, Rahmahullah Ta'ala, Nigerian Jamaat started Ahmadiyya Missionary Training Center, which graduated to Gambia, Ahmadiyya, Nigeria now. It was started then, 1980. So among other students, we were taken to Ilaro to start the Jamia in 1980. So that was how formally we become the first pioneer student of missionary training in Nigeria. It was formerly Ahmadiyya Missionary Training Center, then later Ahmadiyya Missionary Training College, then now Jamia Ahmadiyya Nigeria.
That's a great memory lane you've shared with us. Yeah. And you spent 3 years.
3 years, yes.
Studying
3 years
there
to become a missionary. So, and after passing out in 1983, so other students, we were 4 that graduated. We were 4 pioneer students that graduated. So the 3 others were posted to various Jamas. But I was stationed in the headquarters, 45 Iduma Agbavolwe, My job then was to transmit all or any information or letter that came from international headquarters to all the Jamaat in Nigeria. So that was my duty. And it was from there that I now developed the hobby of traveling.
MashaAllah. Now, talking about your traveling, we understand you are a central missionary by the grace of Allah. How did that come about? And where did you travel to have your to undergo the study?
And actually, after passing out from Jamia, Nigeria, and I was serving actively, then I was, my post then in Nigeria was almost Naib Amir. I was next to the Amir then. The Amir then was the acting Amir, Munir Ahmad Bismil Sahib. So I was next to him, and in everything, I'm just by his side, unless he has sent me on an errand to any other city in Nigeria. So since there was program that they were going to send some of the students who finished well from Jamia, Nigeria to Pakistan. So then the Nigerian Jamaat, under the auspices and permission of the Khalifa, then made the promise true. And I was also among the students that were sent to Pakistan to further our study in 1985.
1982. That is the fourth Khalifa, Rahimahullah.
Yes, the fourth Khalifa.
Yes. So you arrived Pakistan in
1985. In fact, we arrived Pakistan on the day of independence of Pakistan, August 14, 1985.
That's great.
Very great.
So how would you describe your experiences there in the Rabwa, in the Jamia?
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. All praise belong to Almighty Allah. You know, our students, and we are focused, every student and everybody has focus. So even before leaving Nigeria to Pakistan, our elders, our babas, I can remember very well, one of them, Alhaji Sonyaulu of blessed memory, he gave us very, very good advice that even still stay with me up to today. And from there, I took the inspiration that anyway, any other students come from all over the world to Pakistan, I am going to excel above everybody.
And that was the advice Alhaji Sonyaulu gave
Yes,
to you.
I was going to excel.
That one must
strive
on
yes,
excelling in
yes.
life.
We have our Ghanaian elders, students who were there from America, from other countries. So, but I focused on my own intention. And alhamdulillah, I was able to make it. I was able to make it.
That was your Shahid course.
One is Shahid course. When I got Shahid, it was very, 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 you have to study very hard, because then the fourth Khalifa had told the Rahimahullah Ta'ala had told the Jamia institution that he needed more missionaries in the field. So he cannot wait for students to finish 7 years course of Shahid. So then that was the time Mubashir course started. So, and if at the 3rd year in Jamia, if you're able to scale through, then you get to Shahid class. Otherwise, all other students were dropped from Mubashir. Alhamdulillah, that time I went to, I became a Shahid student.
So how many years did the study span?
It's 7 years, 7 years course. So, and apart from that, when the education, in academic way, it was very tedious that, the language is there. Before, when you, as a foreigner, when you come to Rabwa, you have to be in 2 years class, first class. So alhamdulillah,
that's a special class.
Special class for foreigners. So the 2 years, I spent it in 1 year. So the syllabus of 1 year finished in 6 months. The second year finished in 6 months, joined the regular class. So that I have not seen it, because we have still some of the students who have breakthrough in that line. I want special something from Almighty Allah, and I still continued. So it was in 1988 that the whole Majlis Ulama Ahmadiyya Pakistan, in commemoration and celebration of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat worldwide 100 years, they now brought out written competitions for Majlis Ulama Ahmadiyya Pakistan, so which I took part. And you have to write the competition, written contest, and follow all the regulations. And alhamdulillah, after all said and done, I became first, the whole Pakistan. So it was a surprise for all the Khudam in Pakistan that a foreigner, a Nigerian, most especially, could take first. So from all far and near, people...
The language of the contest?
Urdu language. from all far and near, people were coming to Rabwa to come and see me. I became, you know, the museum of the day. People were coming. So,
Mashallah.
alhamdulillah, they now told me that, look, you have taken first by mistake. Don't try it again. You know, it's good. There's still 2 competitions in front. So just go and rest and take your first position for life. I said, no, I'm going to, even the second one, the third one, because each competition is for 4 months. You have to write and submit within 3 months. So the second one, alhamdulillah, I took second position. So they now started telling me, you are going. You will not. I said, there's no way. So alhamdulillah, the last one also, I took first position.
Mashallah.
So alhamdulillah for that.
That was
Then,
1988.
1988. So alhamdulillah for that. And by the special grace of Almighty Allah, after that, the celebration and ceremony for the 100 years of Ahmadiyya in the world had to take place in the Jalsa Salana, UK of 1989. So alhamdulillah also, the Hudur then, Rahimahullah Ta'ala, Hazrat Mirza Tahir Ahmad, Rahimahullah Ta'ala, gave instruction that a foreign student should be sent from Rabwa to come and represent the Jamia in UK Jalsa. So after the committee and our elders, the management sat. So one of the lecturers just said, why are we disturbing ourselves? There is Foreign Student Union. So why not just pick the president to go and represent Jamia in this 100 years celebration? Everybody agrees, alhamdulillah, yes. And then I was the president of the Foreign Student Union. Again, I had the opportunity of going to UK to attend the Jalsa Salana for 100 years of Ahmadiyya, and then after spending some 1 or 2 months, came back to Pakistan to finish my studies.
That's quite impressive.
Alhamdulillah.
That's quite inspiring.
Alhamdulillah.
So your studies, you completed your studies what year? That's
1992.
1992. Afterward, you returned to Nigeria.
Yes, 1992, I finished my course as Shahid, and then I was permitted, with the permission of the then Khalifa, Rahimahullah Ta'ala, to come through UK Jalsa to Nigeria. So I attended the Jalsa Salana of 1992 in London before coming back to Nigeria. I want to remind again here, when I was in Rabwa, apart from Urdu language, which we were being taught, we foreigners, we were not encouraged to learn other languages because other languages were being taught in Jamia, Persian, French, Spanish, and all that language. But most of us choose to learn French language. But I single-handedly just choose to learn Spanish.
Mashallah.
I want to learn Spanish. And alhamdulillah, by special grace of Almighty Allah, you know, that instinct of knowing many languages was still there, and it's still there. So alhamdulillah, I was able to learn Spanish language. And after coming back to Nigeria, I was among those being sent to Equatorial Guinea to go and start preaching of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat, since they speak Spanish language there.
Mashallah, still more to tell us in the course of this show, by the grace of Allah.
Yes.
Mashallah, this is stories of devotion. And our guest today is Maulvi Abdurrashid Sani Sahib. He has taken us through his background, how his parents decided that he should dedicate his life in the service of God and humanity. And through the inspiration and motivation of the then missionary Muhammad Ali, who also advised his parents that he should be dedicated in the service of God. He did, and he was blessed. He went to Jamia, and from there to Pakistan, Jamia Pakistan, where he also undergone the studies at and became a missionary. Now he is back to the country. Let us learn further. Let us get more of his experiences. Maulvi Sahib.
Yes, sir.
Now you are back to Nigeria.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen.
Where was your first place of service as a central missionary? And how was the experience?
When I arrived, there was a system then in Nigeria that we missionaries used to have a group, and we used task force. We used to go for tabligh in a year. So then I had the opportunity of being a group that served in the Jebu circuit. So after that, then I was posted to Bauchi. Bauchi was my first station. So since Bauchi is in the north of Nigeria, I could hardly speak Hausa. I now made it as a duty that before leaving, I don't know at the time I will be transferred from here. Even if it is 1 month or 2 months, I have to learn Hausa language. And by the special grace of Almighty Allah, I was able to learn Hausa language and to preach in Hausa language, and I still continue to improve my Hausa language. And from there, I've had the opportunity to serve in many parts of Nigeria.
Of course. Or any one or two experience you would like to share with us from your first place of service?
From my first place of service, the spirit of preaching and the spirit of dedication we brought from Pakistan was still within us, because our principal of may Almighty Allah continue to spare his life with good health, Sayyid Mir Mahmud Ahmad Sahib, told us among the last advice that, look, you have come to Pakistan. You are African. You should be different from your people. They should see the sign that you have really come to Pakistan to study. So you should carry this message home. So when I reached Bauchi for the first station, I could not speak Hausa language. And I saw that as a challenge. I didn't see it as a barrier. So I started going from villages to villages. So, and by the special grace of Almighty Allah, I reached a village. I was trying to speak in English, trying to speak in other language. The Baba was speaking to, just ask me in Hausa.
That's on the elderly man.
Elderly man, Kataba Zuanang. I was not able to understand it. Subhanallah. I started praying to God. Oh my God, this simple Hausa this man has spoken, why should I not understand to enable me speak more? So I now saw that it's a big challenge. And by the special grace of Almighty Allah, from there, I now went to a village called Yola. When I reached that village, after some days from that experience, Jamaat was able to be established. Because when we reached there, I told my Tabligh team that, look, it's time for prayer. We have to preach. And after the prayer, I approached the Imam in Hausa language, little one I could speak. I want to preach. He said, Bismillah. So we were allowed to speak. We introduced Ahmadi Muslim Jamaat. Later, the opponents came from the big city, bringing the police and SSS and others that Ahmadi have come to this village. They should drive them away. So then the our Amir, Alhaji Mishanu, Alhaji Muhammad Mahmoud Mishanu of Amir Ahmadi Muslim Jamaat Nigeria, and all of us were there. He was not Amir then. Yes. And of blessed memory also, Alhaji Abdurrashid Keshiro, he also came from Kano. So we were all there. So the chairman of the local government now told us our offense, that we have been reported that we wanted to create problem in this village. So that's why we have come. Why, Ahmadiyya? Why have you come here again to create problem? Anyway, you people that have come to complain against them, tell us something. So in our presence, they said, yes, Ahmadiyya, they are foolish, they are bad, they have their prophet, they have their Quran, they are teaching parents to go against children against all sorts of bad things. Okay? They now said, okay, the chairman now said, Ahmadiyya, you have heard, please respond. So the imam of the village now said, no, nobody is going to respond. Ahmadiyya will not respond. It is me that is going to respond. He now stood up. He said, you people, Izala, Ahlus Sunnah, Tabligh, all whatever you call yourself in, you have been coming to this village to preach or to pray. You have never respected me as an imam. You downgrade me that it's a village imam, he has no knowledge. But the first day Ahmadiyya came to this village, they respected me, they loved me. So you authorities of the government, please help us drive all other deen away of this village, from this village, and enable Ahmadiyya to stay in this village. That was how Ahmadiyya stayed. The name of the village is Yola in Bayara local government in Bauchi state.
Mashallah,
so,
that's quite inspiring and interesting to hear. For the first time, I'm hearing this from your esteemed person. But I would like to ask a very important question, and that is, what are the duties of missionary? What do they do?
Among the duties of missionary, you can see from since we have started our job,
Yes.
The discussion. I told you what our principal then told us from Rabwa. Dedication, commitment to duty, and then be prayerful. All these are advice called from the advice of the Khulafa for all the missionaries, and also to be born nearer to Almighty Allah. So in all the stations I've gone, Alhamdulillah, I've got that opportunity.
So
and,
preaching the message of
preaching
God,
the message of Ahmadiyya, where there are challenges, we will turn to Almighty Allah, and it is being resolved.
Of course, we are still going to talk about challenges.
Yes.
But now let us quickly look at you are a father and also a husband and a missionary. How do you combine all these roles, and what inspiring things you may like to tell us about that?
There is no stage in life that one will not face frustration, challenges. So with the blessings of Almighty Allah and attachment to Khilafat, one overcomes all such problems and challenges. And that has been my own strength that has kept me fit in all, being a missionary, being a husband, being brother, being father, being junior brother, and all relatives, even friends. It's this spirit that has kept me that. So, alhamdulillah, there's no challenge at all. Almighty Allah has not phased out.
Alhamdulillah. And speaking specifically about a man who has served God and still serving God for about 40 years, you must have faced some challenges regarding this, your career, your profession. What's one or two, or at least one, would you like to share with us, and how, most importantly, how you overcome such a challenge so that it can be a source of inspiration for many?
Up to today, there are challenges. I told you. Up to today, there are challenges. When one is still alive, you cannot run away from challenges. You cannot run away from frustrations. You cannot run away from all competitions. But with attachment to Khilafat, most especially as missionary, and following the instruction of the Khilafah, coming closer to Almighty Allah, you conquer all the challenges. If you allow your relationship with Almighty Allah to be okay, you don't have problem. You know, the voice, the noise of frog in the water does not disturb cow from drinking, does not disturb elephant from drinking. So why should any challenge disturb you as a missionary from forging ahead? There's no problem at all. I remember very well when I was in Calabar. That was the time of General Obasanjo, the president of Nigeria. Then there was this crowd hula balu about Sharia. There was no day that any newspaper in Nigeria, notable newspaper in Nigeria, will come out without my interview. They come to interview me as the chief imam of the central mosque in Calabar.
That part of the country is
Christian dominantly. So, and every day, I have some examples I can give you. In Tel Magazine, New Nigeria, they come to interview me if not every day, almost the next day.
Then
to come and talk about Sharia. Through how Imam Mahdi Islam has presented it. And they were very surprised that, so we could still get some Muslims that really, know and carry people along, humanity along.
And are peaceful.
So, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, in the course of your explaining how to confront challenges, you mentioned having connection with the Khalifa of the time and also following his instructions. So that would make me to ask you, as a follower of the Khalifa, how would you describe your relationship with him, and what blessings of Khilafah have you gained that you would like to share with our viewers? I have been having the opportunity of having the blessings of the Khilafat from 1980 when the third Khalifa Rahimahullah Ta'ala came to Nigeria. Among other students, we welcomed the third Khalifa in Ilaro, Nigeria, when he came. And we were singing the song of Arabic, Alam bi Khalifa, Alam bi Amir, and like that. So since then, I have had the opportunity of coming more closer to the Khulafa. Apart from that, I normally write for prayers for myself, for my family, and getting reply from Hudu is another inspiration to forge ahead. He advises, he prays for me, for the family, and advises and give instruction on how to go further on Tabligh. And apart from that, through his advice and his admonitions, tahajjud prayer, and then seeking istighfar, coming closer to Almighty Allah, you don't leave that. People may call you anything, but what do you call yourself before God? That matters. So I try to call myself good before God. That is between me and God. Nobody knows that. And so that is following the instruction
of the Khilafat. And that's why I forge ahead. I don't have any determinant. And by the special grace of Almighty Allah, one of the results of that is that Hudur, the present Khalifa, Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Azil Aziz, started the award of excellence for outstanding missionaries in Africa, for Africans, called Abdul Wahab Adam Award. and also started the Excellence of Award for externals, that is our Pakistani brothers who have served in Africa.
That is the award of excellence for the external,
for our
the
Pakistani
foreign
expatriates who have served in Africa. He called that Abdurrahim Nayar Award. So Alhamdulillah, that year, 2015, I was the first given award by the special grace of Almighty Allah, by Khalifa, 2015.
That was, where was the event held?
In UK Jassa Salano.
Mashallah.
UK Jassa Salano. That year, we were 3 that were given in Africa. I was first, then Umar Kul Sahib from Mali, my senior, Alhamdulillah. He's also called Umar Muaz. We also call him Umar Kul. So, and then the third person is Maulvi Abdurrashid Sani in Nigeria. So since then, Alhamdulillah, it has taught me to be more humble.
That's quite important.
It has taught me to be more dedicated, to be more ready to face challenges. And so there's no frustration, no challenges, nothing that will deter me from this job.
And one can say that is the blessings of
Khilafat.
being with the Khalifa of the time.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes, now to round up now, but very, very important, missionaries are seen as men of God, as some will call it.
Yes.
And so how would you describe your relationship with God, and what blessings would you like to share with us that encourages one to be attached to God, to obey God, to worship God, and to serve God and humanity?
It is the clearing call of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam that we should join the missionary Keda, which has made it a divine, translating from the writings of Almighty Allah in the Holy Quran. So for that reason alone, to join the missionary work as a call from the Imam of the time is not a small thing. So the only thing is for us to attach ourselves to it, to be more successful, to be more prayerful, dedicated, and committed to this. And by the time you do that, Alhamdulillah, one will be successful. It should just be at the back of the mind that this work I'm not doing because of anybody. I'm doing it because the Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, Imam of the has called me and I have answered. And if you have answered, then you answered properly. So there is no challenge. There is no any miraculous mountain that will deter you from your job. So that with prayer, Almighty Allah continue to see us success.
With prayers, Almighty Allah continues to grant us success in life. This has been the stories of devotion, and our guest has been Maulvi Abdurrashid Sani Sahib. He has taken us through various experiences in the service of God and humanity, that we must be connected to God, we must follow the Khalifa of the time, and we must serve God dedicatedly. And on this note, we appreciate your coming to our show today to share with us your experiences, Maulvi Sahib.
Jazakumullahu khair, ahsana jazaa.
MashaAllah. Dear viewers, thank you for being part of the show today. By the grace of Allah, Stories of Devotion continues in our subsequent episode. And of course, you can always reach us with your inquiries and questions through africa@mta.tv. Until next time, when we shall meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.